Hello and welcome to EDFL TV. Down here at the Brad Teal offices in Essendon. Matty, great sponsors of the EDFL, got their logo all over the back of the EDFL umpires, and it was umpire appreciation round last round. Great sponsors, aren't they? Brad and the boys down here, the girls.
Great real estate agents. I think 8 offices across the northwest, and been sponsoring the umpires in EDFL for such a long time. Brad Teal Real Estate.
All right, let's go through the Premier Division results from last round.
Cracking games, weren't they?
Maribyrnong Park got a big win over Essendon due to Stars.
Against the odds.
Points was the eventual margin. Marwan Abdul Wahid kicking the last 2 goals of the game. Strathmore, 10-point winners over Avondale Heights. They're just scrapping some wins here, aren't they, the Moors, even though they're not as convincing as they were last season. Greenvale, 64-point victors over Pascal.
This was a statement.
No Dennis Bicer playing for Greenvale in that one. His Western Bulldogs commitments, that's right. They played the Sunday in Perth. Airport West, 52-point victors over Oak Park. Marcus Kenny kicked 7 goals.
Your man.
Aberfeldy, 46-point victors over Keilor, which was a bit of a surprise, that one, considering we maybe felt Keilor were going to give a bit more of an account of themselves.
100%. Look, Jared Garth played his first game back since the Good Friday. It's been 5 weeks, time 4 rounds, but he injured himself again. So it's concerning for Keilor Footy Club, no doubt, and a disappointment for the league because he's a top 10 player, and we hope Garthy's okay. But what a win for Abbers. What a statement for the top 2 this year. Yep,
absolutely. Let's go to round 5 action. There's only 4 games this round because of the Good Friday clash. This was scheduled for this round: Strathmore versus Keilor, Oak Park versus Avondale Heights. It suggests that Oak Park might struggle against Avondale Heights, but given that Oak Park, they're still giving a good account of themselves in Premier Division, still having a crack.
Yeah, definitely. This is the one they want to pencil in for a win, but Avondale Heights is... their losses haven't been that bad. 10 points, he said, to Strathmore. Well, they weren't that bad on Anzac Day at all. So they'll be gunning for a big win, and they've got firepower.
Yep, Aberfeldy versus Pascoe Vale. Pascoe Vale have got Aberfeldy this week, Strathmore the next. They're staring down the barrel of being zip and 6.
It's remarkable. People are tipping them to be the premiership contenders before the season. Has the losses of Franchina, Bicer, Luke Morgan, and Bannister, your man, come back to haunt Pascoe Vale? They're a great club, great team, but... yeah, big test. And Aberfeldy lost to them last season, and that will be in their memory bank.
Maribyrnong Park versus Airport West. This is the EDFL Match of the Day broadcast. This one is going to be an absolute cracker between 2 teams that are probably between 3 and 6 in the EDFL competition. Not the top 2, the blockbuster, but it'll still be a cracking game nonetheless. 8-point
game, perfectly said, Michael. Gavin Urquhart. Ex-North Melbourne player. So he'll be massive second game for Airport West. They've got Marcus Kenny, ex-listed player, Harris, of course, Simon Hogan. There's some quality there for Airport West. They're a very good outfit. And Marby at home, Jack Anthony backs a big in.
Yep, Greenvale versus Essendon due to Stars. You'd think the Greenvale Jets will just roll on and get another win here.
Yeah, no doubt. Very hard side to beat. The Duda Stars will be very good in their bigger ground. I think the advantage of them moving grounds has probably been a disadvantage this year. And Sam Tankard and the boys you wanted to mention will be a big show this week versus Greenvale.
All right, Essendon 4 Division 1 action from last round, and Glenroy have made another statement. 42-point victors over what people consider their nearest rival, Taylors Lakes, away from home. Kite, Woodhouse, 4 goals each. Barden kicked 3 as well. Lockie Ronaldson, the Calder Cannon, kicked 2. They've just got superstars all over the park. Craigieburn got their first win of the season. 31-point victors over Hadfield in what was a massive game now for Craigieburn because they play West Meadows this week. They can go to 3-2 after this round. So, important win there for the Eagles.
Yep, it was a very good win. But what about Glenroy? At Taylors Lakes, they're very, very hard to beat. Glenroy, Kite, Barden, Woodhouse, some great cockers. Whitnell, what a statement to the league.
Yep, Tullamarine, undefeated now still. They defeated West Coburg by 11 points. Mick Egan has a broken leg.
Unbelievable.
We understand.
How bad's their luck with injuries?
Terrible down there at the Demons, and Northern Saints 78-point victors over West Meadows. So big win there for the Northern Saints. Fort Caruso, absolute superstar of the competition, kicked 4 goals, just absolutely running amok.
And West Coburg, just concerns, 1-3,
just
powerhouse
get
last few
the
years.
feeling there's not enough help for Robbie Hudson. He's amongst the goals and the best players every week, and there's a lot of young guys on their side, but just probably not enough superstars across the park, which is what West Coburg were accustomed to last season and a few years before that.
Definitely. And on the flip side, Tullamarine 4-0. We just said at the start of the season with their injuries, it's going to be tough for them. They are a very impressive unit.
All right, the games for this week, as I said, Craigieburn have West Meadows. Big game for both teams here. If West Meadows want to get back in the hunt Division 1, they really need to win this against Craigieburn. If Craigieburn want to push for that top 4 position, they really need to win here too.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a cracking game. Craigieburn, bit of form here.
Northern Saints versus Glenroy. Another challenge for Glenroy. People tend to think that Northern Saints will probably be a third, fourth team in Division 1. This
could be a grand final preview. Northern Saints, a very physical, hard side, and I think probably the second strongest side to Glenroy, and will really test the Glenroy Footy Club, a side that you have a little soft spot for with some mates that you go to deluxe with. But I think Northern Saints could get the chocolates in and an unbelievable for Division 1 game. Going to be a cracker.
West Coburg versus Taylors Lakes, an interesting game here at West Coburg, and they got 2 home games on the trot. They definitely need to win.
Yeah, and Taylors Lakes could lose 3 in a row. It's a remarkable, and how good is this 8-team Division 2?
Division 1.
It's Division 1, or a second tier, division, as I should say, competition. It's unbelievable. What a great game it's going to be. Goodness, this very even contest. And
Tullamarine versus Hadfield. You'd think Tullamarine would make it 5-0 at home. Hadfield don't have a great record in the last few years at Leo Deneen Reserve.
Yeah, they generally beat Tulla. They're pretty good at Tulla at their home ground, is that right, over the last couple of years? But at Tulla...
A couple of years ago, they had a really big win at Tulla, but I'm talking the last 2-3 years, they've struggled at Tullamarine.
Tulla just play that ground so well, but are these injuries going to catch up with them, Pelly? That's the big thing. They don't have great depth. But Ash Manning, ex-Hadfield coach as well before Glenroy. He just might have something to prove. It's going to be a great game, I think, Tulla just.
All right, the Division 2 results from last round.
Yeah, just quickly, Matty Bottain, who had a broken leg, kicked 7 last week.
Kicked 7 in a losing
great effort, and great to see an EDFL boy come back from a long-term injury.
Yep. All right, so the Division 2 took probably the spotlight a little bit on the weekend, considering Chris Tarrant was lining up for Hillside. Matty, you were down there. Kicked 0 goals, 4 did the Taz.
Yeah, he couldn't kick one. He had a couple of shots around 30, 35, missed one, had one from 50. Look, he had a solid day. He could have kicked 3 goals, 1. Intensity looked about 75%. A couple of times he could have crashed and banged. He thought, I'll stay out of it. But he was pretty smart. He presented well, and they used him well. And you know what? He had a 4-line of O'Halpin who went down there a lot. Paul Edwards and Fabio Delitza. So, I mean, it wasn't like a 4-line where it was a one-punt attack.
Yeah, that's right. So Hillside were 32-point victors over Keilor Park, but Keilor Park really took it to them. Hillside were very inaccurate. They had... They were 15-17 in the end, but they had 10-16 at three-quarter time. Asaka Halpin was the Viking Protein Player of the Day, kicked 4 goals. He will struggle to lose a tap-out in Division 2 this year.
He was like a ruck rover. He had about 45 tap-outs, but he had 18 possessions in the third quarter alone.
Yep, Jacana was the big news. 103-point victors over East Sunbury. Well done everyone down there at Jacana. They've got a new committee, new president, new board, all that sort of thing. New coach, Matty Sacco. First win, 26 games since Jacana won their last game. So... very well done to them. Coburg Districts went down to Roxburgh Park by 31 points. James Margariti did a great job. Our man Luke Vince Satorio did a great job on him. Well, he didn't do much.
One goal. Off the field he is, yes.
So well done to James Margariti doing a good job there. But was Roxburgh Park 31-point victors. And all of a sudden they're sitting outright third on the ladder in Division 2. And Moonee Valley were easy victors over East Keilor. A couple of worrying signs down there now at East Keilor. Liam Johnson with the pink boots showed them to us after EDFL TV last week. He snagged 5 with them. So good job to Charlie Denara and the boys in their 80th anniversary game down there at the Valley.
Is that a statement for Moonee Valley saying that they're the real deal to compete with Hillside Sharks?
Well, they've got another test this week. They play Keilor Park in this
great
round.
Game.
So... that's probably the match of the round if we look at the Division 2 contests across the board. East Keilor play Jacana. It's also an interesting game now. Jacana have got a win, bit of a roll. Michael Evans kicked 6, one of the twins down there, back from West Meadows. Jacana boy through and through. East Sunbury play Coburg Districts. You suspect the Coburg Districts will get their second win back.
Nice 45-minute drive for Coburg Districts. Probably 40-minute drive there, so they could get a little bit fatigue on the way up. Yeah, correct. So East Sunbury could get a very good start.
Hillside versus Roxburgh Park is also that game. You just talked about Roxburgh Park and their form, but a big test here up at Hillside.
Hillside got some big players out. Mondeo, O'Halpin's out, as well as Jared Best 50-50. So they've got some quality out in Portelli. So, danger game.
Yep, so that's all the action across Westpac Premier Division, Essendon 4 Division 1 and Division 2 football for this round. Don't forget the Match of the Day broadcast, 98.9 North West FM, Maribyrnong Park versus Airport West. You'll be hearing this man's dulcet tones on there. Matthew,
yes.
Keep up to date, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and the works.
Yep, and I'm pumped to watch Marby Park, my old club, and Airport West, the club that won the B-grade grand final last year, Division 1 grand final last year. It's going to be a cracking game, and I'm just keen for a Marby hamburger there at the Marby Barbie.
The Marby Barbie goes all right down there. It's great to see that in Premier Division, Division 1, Division 2, we have 2 undefeated teams across all 3 divisions. The 3-tier system working perfectly in the EDFL. Matty Pillios, we'll see you next week.
Happy Mother's Day to your mum, my mum, and all the mums a part of the EDFL. You do a great job, and enjoy Sunday at the footy or at home.
Tireless work for all the mothers out there, so thank you very much from everyone here.